This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, it's Suze Casey, developer of the belief repatterning technique, which you may or may not have heard of, but it helps you get your mind wrapped around things. And we got lots of things to get our minds wrapped around now. So I'm calling this navigating new normal. I've heard people say, well, when things get back to normal, well, I think we're moving forward into a new normal, and each day is a new normal for us as things change. So we're here to support you and your family to be proactive, productive, and positive during these uncertain times. There's one thing that is certain, and that's change, but there's other things that are certain as well. And so I'm going to ask you to make sure that you've got some water handy while you're listening to this. And if you've got any questions and you're listening to this live, great. Type them into the chat box and we'll answer them. But if you're listening to this on a recording, you can always go to the Belief Repatterning Facebook page. And there you can ask your questions and someone will answer. Now, I just realized that we should probably have had that up on the slide, but I'm just going to tell you it's Belief Repatterning. It's down in that lower corner. And if you go onto Facebook and search, you'll find it there. And for sure, a member, the Belief Repatterning community, will hop on and give you some answers, give you some suggestions. We've also got a special bonus for all of you. And I'm not going to make you wait to the end. I'm going to tell you right up front. We are happy to provide you with a 10-minute mindset boost to just help you get your mind around things. So my intention today is to give you an introduction, to give you some sense of how you can get that, what I call the tickety-ticketies in your head, how you can keep yourself on the upside of the line, because it's super important to do that, not only for you, but for the people around you, to model that being on the upside of the line. And I'm going to tell you why it's important. Your thoughts affect your immune system, not just a little bit. In fact, I've been listening to all of the things that people are saying, and yes, it's important to wash your hands. Yes, it's important to, make sure that your house is clean. Super important to eat as cleanly as you can. You want to keep your interior house clean too. You want to keep moving, keep that happening. And the number one thing that's the most important, your thoughts. This piece of real estate right here, most important, because when you are in a down feelings, which is so prevalent right now because there's so much uncertainty, your immune system is compromised. And I want your immune system to be as strong as possible. And you want the immune systems of the people that you care about to be as strong as possible. And so we're going to give you some things that you can do to help that happen for you, because your immune system has got to be your number one priority right now. So I'm going to ask you to just draw on a piece of paper a little chart that in the center of the page, put a line up vertically, that's the word I'm looking for, up and down. And on the left-hand side, write the words inner critic. And on the right-hand side, write the words inner coach. And by inner critic, underneath that, you can just put an arrow that goes down. It doesn't have to be a big one, just an arrow that points down. And by inner coach, an arrow that points up. This is to remind you that your inner critic is not bad and your inner coach is good. No, your inner critic is important because it helps keep you alive. I made up these terms, inner critic, inner coach, about 25 years ago to describe all the voices I had going on in my head. And when I made the decision is that the inner critic is good, it keeps me alive, but if I stay in it too long, it drains my energy. And that's why I'm saying the down arrow. The inner coach supports me, gives me good ideas, and when I'm there, it raises my energy. Now, your immune system, when you've got the critic voice going, is getting depressed. And so it is the responsibility of each and every one of us to keep our immune system as strong as we can for ourselves, for our family, and for our society. And the only person that can keep your immune system good is you, because you're the one that holds the keys to it. So we're going to give you some tips and techniques that you can use that will support you emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually to navigate through these times. Your healthy immune system is your number one priority. I hope you've got that message. And the number one thing that affects your immune system more than anything else is your mindset. Now, interestingly enough, I developed this technique 30 years ago to support myself through immune depressing illnesses. Yeah, I knew I needed to think positively, and boy, it is so hard to do when the rug gets pulled out from underneath you. And that's what happened to me 30 years ago with my health. And that's what's happening now on a global scale to everybody's health. The rug is being pulled out. The things that we took for granted as normal aren't there anymore. And so I'm going to really, really encourage you to recognize healthy immune system, number one priority. We're going to talk a little bit about behaviors that we're seeing that are causing some of this spin. And we're going to talk about what the mindset is that's happening and why that's happening for you. So let's go there right now. This is something called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It was developed in the mid 1900s. Sounds like a long time ago now. Right? But he looked at human behavior and made a hierarchy of needs. And I've been finding that as I've been sharing this for the last week, that it helps people understand some of the strange behaviors that they're feeling in themselves, that they're noticing themselves doing, some of the strange behaviors they've been noticing around them. And so, what I'd like to do is just give you an overview of Maslow's hierarchy of needs to help you understand what's going on for you and your family and the people that you care about. So, at the very base of the triangle, and for those of you who aren't seeing this online, make a triangle that's got like make it like a page big so that you've got room to write in it, and make it have 5 sections going up. So there's across the bottom there's a section, and then 5 layers, if you will, of that triangle. The bottom layer is physiological. What I'm going to do is just tell you what those layers are for those of you who are listening and not seeing this. The bottom layer is physiological. The second from the bottom is safety and security. The next level, the third level, the one in the middle, is love and belonging. The one on the top is esteem and value. And the top one is self-actualization. And so those are what we'll talk now what each one of those is about. This is a little bit of psychology 101, but until you understand how you work on the inside, how you tick, you're going to have the tickety-ticketies go on in your brain. So let's take a look at that. The very bottom one, physiological. This refers to our physiological needs, which are number 1, water, not liquid, water. Number 2, sleep, restful sleep. And number 3, food. This is explaining why so many people have gone into binge buying, trying to meet these physiological needs that aren't even making sense to them. Now, there's something else that's going on for you, and that is whenever something new comes up, your conscious mind is looking, going, that's new. Critic is going to pop up because it has to keep you alive. It's like, how do we navigate this? What are we going to do here? Sends the message to the subconscious mind that then goes looking through all the file folders to try to see what we've got that matches. Well, for most of us, we don't have much here that match. We don't have a lot of experience with this. And in fact, I saw a very interesting meme on Facebook yesterday. It said, most of our grandparents were called to go to war. You're being asked to be on the couch. We got this. So you start to put some perspective on that. But what's happening is a lot of people are going into that mindset of lack and deprivation because the things that are normal for you that meet these baseline needs, these basic physiological needs that we have, are kind of being pulled away in some ways. So the number 1 is water. And I'm going to ask you to really drink more water. If I've heard people say, I drink a lot of water. Yes, you have been drinking a lot of water, and that fit what used to be normal. We're in a new normal now, up it by a quart to a liter or more, and I'm talking water. You could also do herbal teas, and in fact, the warm water, warm teas are very, very good to support your immune system. It kicks up the immune system. Okay. The second thing is sleep, and sleep more. I've had so many people saying to me, I'm so tired. I'm worried I'm getting the virus. No, you're so tired because your body is needing extra rest. It's wise. It's saying, let's be restful. Now, there's a physiological reason for it. When you're working in that frontal lobe, in that conscious mind all the time, it's tiring. And so the body is expending a lot of energy. So nap, sleep longer. And with food, you want to keep eating. But here's what I'm going to tell you: junk food, high sugar foods, high alcohol intake, um, refined processed foods are all hard on your immune system. So this might be the time to be creating some new habits around healthy eating. Good opportunity to do this. Now, there's also another physiological need that's not on this hierarchy, and that is the need for movement, exercise. You have a number of systems in your body, and you've got a circulatory system, and it has a pump called the heart. You have a respiratory system, it has a pump called the lungs. You also have a lymphatic system, and the lymphatic system is really, I don't want to get too technical, but it's very, very part of your immune system, okay? That lymphatic system does not have a built-in pump. The pump that it has is muscular movement. So have a dance party, go for walks, be physical, do your workouts from online. Make sure that you're being physical every day to keep that lymphatic system healthy. Okay, so those are the basic baseline physiological needs that we have. Oh, I want to go back to one thing about sleep because I've had a lot of questions, people asking me. I've been waking up with really bad nightmares or weird dreams, or my sleep is very disturbed. Here's why. You've all heard of the collective consciousness. We have a collective subconscious, is really what it is. Um, and it's operating all the time. It's how you pick up a vibe from somebody and you're kind of vibing with it. Now, what happens when we're asleep is those filters are down, that they're there normally during the day, and the filters are down, and so you are absorbing the energy of what's happening around you. Even if you in your own home and your own family are calm, what's going on in mankind is vibing for all of us. So it's um, a really simple fix, and that is before you go to bed, institute some kind of an intention. Now, some of you may had prayer before you went to bed, and maybe some of you still do, and that is a very good habit, but I'm not saying that you have to do that. Set an intention. I am resting now. I am sleeping deeply, deeply. All is well with me and my home, and I sleep deeply, deeply to restore and rejuvenate my body, mind, and spirit. My immune system is healthy. Tell yourself that kind of a prayer mantra before you go to sleep. That's going to then put everything kind of in a, okay, I can relax now. See, these hierarchy of needs need to be met, otherwise we go on full alert. So the next level, which is safety and security, you need to know that you have finances, that you have a means of getting your physiological needs met. You need to know that you have a home, a place where you feel safe and secure. And that little lock is there for those of you who can see it on the diagram, because you need to feel secure not only in your environment, but within yourself. If you're worried all the time, you're not meeting your needs for security. So tell yourself all is well. Give yourself uplifting messages through music. Make sure that what you're seeing and reading is secure and uplifting. This is probably not the time to be reading murder mysteries. You may want to be reading more kind of historical fiction, those kinds of things that are uplifting and supportive. Let's say historical, you know what I mean. Read the things that you take in, the movies that you watch, the books that you read, the music that you listen to, can all feed this sense of emotional security for us, right? So we all need to have that need for safety. This is why we're seeing people going, "Wow, how am I going to pay my mortgage?" Okay, big deep breath. Everyone is in this together, and I have faith and hope that our governments will ensure. I mean, everybody. This is not affecting you personally alone. It's affecting all of us. And so let's look at the safety and security of ourselves and our families and our homes. Now, I have had a lot of people also saying, I don't know what to do. Well, I'm going to encourage you through this to focus on how you want to be and then be that. My colleague, Wayne Dyer, who's now passed away, but a colleague of mine at Hay House, a number of years ago came out on stage and he was holding an orange and an apple. He just walked around holding onto that orange and apple and gave his talk and didn't refer to the orange and apple for like 20 minutes. And all of us were like, what is he doing with that orange and apple? And then he got to the point of it and he said, if I squeeze this orange, I'm going to get orange juice. And if I squeeze this apple, I'm going to get apple juice. I'm not going to get orange juice out of an apple. I'm not going to get apple juice out of an orange. And here's the point, when you're squeezed, the essence of you is what comes out. And so keeping yourself in that secure place in the realm of the inner coach will make sure that when you are squeezed, when the stresses happen, when the things change, you will be able to navigate that from a place of personal security. Hope that helps. Also, the next one, love and belonging. I don't know if you noticed, but my partner Phil just kind of snuck in behind and brought me a cup of tea because he realized that I hadn't brought my tea downstairs. Super important for us to have love and belonging, and he couldn't have timed it better. And it's one of our needs, and we're being asked to social isolate, to social distance. I'm going to ask you to change up that because as soon as you say social distance, it hits that level of security that we need and the level of love and belonging that we need. I'm going to suggest physical distance, social connection. Feel how that feels in your body. Physical distance, social connection. We all need to know that we're loved and we belong. Now, there's a couple of things that you can do here to self-soothe, to create that love and belonging. They're saying don't touch your face. Well, touch other parts of yourself. Give your arm a little caress. Give your leg a little love, okay? Rub your belly. When you were a child, the adults around you soothed you by rubbing places on your body. You can do the same thing. Love and belonging. Get creative with this. The internet, amazing. You know, yes, we're being asked to keep ourselves a physical distance away, but we've got this great tool that we can connect with. Make sure that you're clicking in. Make sure that you're connecting with the people that you love and care about. And rather than saying, oh, how are you doing? I'm so worried about you. No, come from a place of love and belonging. Come from a place of, I was thinking about what we did last summer. Wasn't that fun? Do a specific memory with them, helping them raise their energy. You raise your energy, and you're both firmly on the side of the coach. And keep those connections happening. So right now in Alberta, we are not on lockdown, so we are able to be outside. So wonderful. You can meet that physiological need for movement. You can feel secure by your being outside, breathing fresh air. Your body, your immune system needs sunshine, needs fresh air. And you can do the love and belonging by connecting with friends or neighbors or family and suggesting that you do something outside together where you keep distance. So we met some friends yesterday on a walk. They just got back from the States. They're also self-isolating. And we met them on the walk and we stood 8 feet apart from each other and we had a wonderful visit. What was really interesting is that a number of people went by us and kind of went, oh, is that ever a good idea? And we said, yeah, we planned it. We didn't just wait for it to happen. We planned it. I've heard of people having, picnics outside where everybody brings their own food and they just sit outside. Now it's a little hard in Alberta because we're not quite into spring yet. We still have snow on the ground. But those of you who are in places where you are able to be outside, it's good for your immune system to be outside. Connect with others the ways that you can and connect with yourself the ways that you can. All right. So talk to yourself in loving, kind tones. This is not the time, well, it's never the time to beat yourself up and put yourself down. But this is the time to really be that best essence of you. So think about that orange and think about you. And when you're squeezed, you want sweetness to come out, not sour or bitter or rotten. Make sure that you keep yourself fresh. Okay. The next level is self esteem and value. And we all need to know that we are appreciated and valued, honored and respected for the things that we bring to the table. And we're used to getting this for the things that we do. I'm going to encourage you to focus on the be. How do I want to be? And then those things will begin to appear for you. What should I do? Now, moral dilemmas are happening because people are wanting to be of service to others, but that could be in conflict with their physiological needs, their needs for safety and security and to be healthy. And so what you want to look at when you're making your decisions is this hierarchy. And so you've got to have the baseline ones done first, then the next, then the next, then the next. So physiological, then safety, security, then love and belonging, and then esteem, value. This is how can I be of service? What do you have? What's your superpower? I have a lot of people saying, I don't have a superpower. Everybody has superpowers. What is it that you know that other people that you've been probably taking for granted that other people don't know? Are you like a really, really creative mom that knows how to pull craft stuff together? Great. Well, why don't you look around your house and find things that every household has without having to go to the craft store and maybe do a quick 5-minute video about that? Everybody has superpowers. How can you be of service while still maintaining the needs that you have? And then the very top of the pyramid, of Maslow's pyramid, is self actualization. And this is where I'm okay. The world is good. It's all good. Things are happening in my favor. You see, there's two ways of looking at the world. One is things happen in my favor, or the world is out to get me. I would encourage all of you to move to things happen in my favor, even if I don't know how. You know, when you were a child, you didn't know how things were going to unfold for you, but here you are in a home, roof over your head, clothes on your back. We have won the lottery here in North America. And remember, just keep it in perspective. We're being asked to maintain our own health and wellness first, and therefore the safety and security of our communities. Okay. I hope that that little Maslow lesson, that little psychology 101 is giving you some background on how you're behaving and how other people are behaving. And here's number one: keep your sense of humor. That immediately puts you on the upside of the line. Laugh, laugh. One of the things that Phil and I did last week when we began to realize what was going to be happening with this, so we made a list of things that we do every day. And you need to have some kind of security of here's my routine, because then the subconscious mind can take over and pattern that for you. Most people's routines have been really turned upside down. So we created what our new normal day is, and we put on it things like very big, deep belly laughs. Last night we had movement, exercise, getting out for a walk, and last night we had a dance party, just the two of us. And I asked Phil to pick one fast song and one slow song that we could dance together with. And we had a dance party, and we've now decided we're going to have a dance party as part of our new normal every day. Tonight it's my turn to pick the music. Have some laughter and fun. If you're by yourself, you can have your own dance party, and you can have a friend, do it with a friend online. Have your friend choose the music, or do it with kids. They love having dance parties. Yeah, super simple things that we can do that then are going to meet our needs. Physiological for movement, security to know that we're good because that gets the endorphins going, love and connection, feeling that we're valued. Everything's fine. Okay, now I do want to mention this little cartoon. I just realized that people that are listening, maybe not on the computer, aren't seeing it. There's a dog. It's a hand-drawn cartoon, and the dog is looking at a human, and the human has one of those big, I call them Elizabethan collars, those big plastic cones that they put on dogs after surgery so that they won't lick themselves. And the dog is saying to the human, it's for your own good. You have to stop touching your face. Okay? You have to stop touching your face. Now, number one, it illustrates laughter, but number two, super important thing is that your mind does not register no and not. And when you say you have to stop touching your face, subconscious mind goes touching my face. You've all experienced this at some point when you maybe couldn't touch your face. For me, it happens when I get my nails done. All of a sudden, my nose is so itchy because I'm telling myself I can't reach my face, and then I want to. Okay, so whenever we say stop, we're wired to learn and move forward, so our brain's trying to figure out ways that we can. So instead, anything that you have to stop, replace it with a new supportive habit. So I mentioned earlier, instead of touching your face, touch your arm. When you find yourself going to touch your face, immediately start touching your arm. That's going to self-soothe, that's going to feel good, and then you're replacing the old habit with a new habit. A cool thing about habits right now is that people say it's hard to make new habits. That's because you've got a busy day and you're trying to shove a new habit into it. You're trying to push something into it. You've got kind of opportunity here to rebuild. So there are habits that aren't in your life anymore, like maybe driving the kids to and from school. Okay, so what new habit can you create in that time frame? We've had old habits of going grocery shopping. Maybe at our house, we, tended to go grocery shopping every 2, 3 days because that's how Phil likes to do things. And so that's what we did. Well, we have a new habit now. So what do we want to replace that habit with? Okay, so let's look at supportive, healthy habits because this is a great time to replace them. I know for me, I've been not very exercise oriented for the past, I'm going to say year and a half. I'm going to own that. I broke my foot a year and a half ago, August, and it took a long time to heal. And I just got out of the habits that I had of swimming and walking. And so now I'm walking. And yesterday I said to Phil, we've been walking every day. I'd like to move it to 2 times a day. Are you with me or is one of them on my own? And he said, I'm really happy doing my elliptical. I don't want to do elliptical. I'm not into that. But I'm really happy to go walking a second time on my own. And so having some reflective quiet time. So time to build new habits in of things that you've been meaning to get to. So, repatterning is a technique that has 7 steps to train your mind to go to the upside as its habit. It also is all kinds of tips, techniques, easy practices that you can use to keep yourself on the upside of the line. So, I want to just walk you through a really simple repatterning. Remember, I said at the beginning, if you are looking to have a mind boost, we are happy to provide that. 10-minute mind boosts to get that immune system up, get you on the upside of the line. And you can access that by going onto either the Belief Repatterning Facebook page or the Belief Repatterning website. On the website, there's a little place to ask, there's a little place to send a note. And on the Facebook page, just put a note there, a request, and one of our team will get back to you. Okay? So is that what I've given you so far? Has that been helpful? I hope it has given you some background. And now what I want to move into is something that is a step-by-step thing that you can train your mind to do. And I would suggest that you might write these down. Now, there's another one missing, and that's what holds it all together. That's gratitude. And you can put gratitude anywhere. For those of you who have studied with me, you're going to recognize these steps in a different way. So what I've done here is put together the steps that we use when we're teaching children this, because it works for adults too. And for those of you who know the adult version, I'll let you know how they relate. But the first step is not me. This doesn't feel like me. So when you're on that depressing side of the line, that chaotic side of the line, that draining side of the line, just be aware and go, this is not me. And then the next step is, what would you like to feel instead? So folks that are adults can do this with kids. We can do this with each other. It's not you. What do you want to feel instead? It's not like you to be in this place. What would you like to feel instead? Now, it's hard to think of what you want on this side of the line, on the upside of the line, when you're on the downside of the line. So we just use the word instead. Instead, I'd rather feel. And then you get to choose which one you want. Do you want to have the downward side or the upward side? Well, I can tell you that you will automatically go to the up. It's how you are wired. Okay. Then I will gives you some choices. And so in the adult version, this is the freedom statements. I'm free to, but instead it's I will. We're making it as simple as we can for kids to learn and people who are new to the technique to learn it. The next stage in the adult version, I call it affirmation. But what it really is when do you remember doing this? And then the sixth stage, I am. The adult version, I call that surrendering to your new normal, surrendering to your new way of being. And gratitude or congratulations or thanks, that's also meeting that need for esteem on Maslow's hierarchy. Okay, what happens with these steps is it trains your subconscious mind to have that security. And as you're doing the steps, we're going to breathe in deeply through the nose and out through the mouth. That meets that physiological need for security. I'm going to ask you each right now to just imagine that a tiger walked into your room. That's how you would breathe. You would take a big breath of air and then hold your breath. Okay? That puts your body on high alert, fight, flight, freeze, which is the domain of the critic. Now, imagine yourself, maybe at a lake or someplace out in nature that you just love, one of your happy places. And your breath is going to be in through your nose and out through your mouth. That physiologically puts your body on the upside where the inner coach is. So the repatterning technique meets these needs in really easy ways. So what I'd like to do is suggest that we do a little review here. Inner critic, inner coach. Inner critic pulls your energy down, depressing your immune system. Inner coach raises your energy up and supports and strengthens your immune system. If you haven't been drinking water, you need to. You see, we're creating new neural pathways, and new neural pathways require water. Okay. So, hey, I just see the pup just showed up. Speaking of love and belonging, you can have your little moment here. Hi. See, even looking, our subconscious mind doesn't really know the difference between real and vicarious. So we can all vicariously experience that love and belonging and that secure feeling that we feel when we're holding an animal or with an animal and he's kind of bored, he's just being himself. But your mind doesn't know the difference between imagined and real, your subconscious mind. And so let yourself have as many vicarious experiences as you possibly can on this upside of the line. See, when you are on that inner critic side of the line where that down arrow is, you are in fight, flight, freeze. I often say there's the 4 Fs. Fight, flight, freeze, and the fourth one, what we don't say in public or in polite company, but you all know the one I mean. It's when you have that expletive deletive that rhymes with fire truck. You're in that, you're not thinking straight. You're not who you are. In fact, I would suggest that the things that happen on the inner critic side are pointing you to who you are. They're giving you an opportunity to move into more of who you really are. Every situation is an opportunity to be less of who you are or more of who you are. And you're the one who gets to decide if it's going to take you down or if you're going to be the hero and rise above it. You're the one that gets to decide what comes out of you when you're squeezed. And so on the inner coach side, we have our intelligence. We have what I like to call our toolkit. What I mean by toolkit is your skills, your attributes, your abilities. Okay, so let's imagine that right now we are all being asked to climb a tree. That's not a skill or ability that I have, but it might be a skill or ability that you have. And so you could climb the tree and then help me get up. You could give me a boost to get up, knowing that you can. Back to Maslow's hierarchy. I know how to help people move their minds up. And so what I'm doing is keeping myself as much as I can on that inner coach side and then supporting others with my toolkit. But you each have toolkits, you each have superpowers. You just can't access them when you're on the inner critic side. So it's like, that's when I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do. Well, we're going to help you focus on how you want to be, and then that do will show up. So when you're on that upside, you have access to your intelligence, the things that you've learned, your wisdom, your intuition, your creativity. You can have good ideas. When you're on the downside, you're in survival mode because your needs aren't being met. And all you're going to do is go into fight, flight, freeze, or pushing everyone away with that fourth one. All right. So what we're going to do is hold a space for things. So that's what hope is. Hope isn't pretending. Hope is holding a space for things to move. Things have been a bit chaotic. That's definitely on the downside. And so what I'm going to say is if you saw a child that was in chaos, what would you want to do? If you saw a child or a friend that was lonely, how would you want to help them be? If you saw somebody else who was stuck, what would you help them with? What about struggle or fear? These are some of the common things that have been coming up. They may have been coming up for you. They've certainly been coming up for the people around you. But when you're in that, oh no, I'm so chaotic. Oh no, I'm so lonely. I'm so stuck. You don't have access to your creativity or intelligence. So, what repatterning does is help you connect things from one side of the line to the other. So, the opposite of chaotic for a child or for anybody could be calm. Opposite of feeling lonely could be connected. So, see, chaotic feeds into that need for security. Lonely feeds into that need for connected. Feeling stuck moving forward fits into that physiological need, that baseline, that movement that we need in our lives. Struggle, again, it's got to be hard. No, we would want to create ease for a child. And the opposite of fear could be certainty. Okay, because mostly we're afraid when we don't know what we're sure of. And so taking a look at how you would like to feel instead, and we don't ignore the chaos, we use it to transform the energy. So those of you who are watching this online, you can see that on each slide we've got the down arrow and then we've got the arrows going across to the up arrow along the outside edge of the slides. That's there to let you know that your mind can work through anything that's on the downside and turn it this way because that's how you're wired. So lonely connects you to connected. It points you in the direction of feeling connected. Stuck points you in the direction of moving forward. So rather than taking the things on the downside of the line and defining yourself as I'm so lonely or I'm struggling, only put I am in front of the things that you want. I'm experiencing struggle and I am creating ease for me. I feel the chaos and I'm pointing myself towards calm. That chaos is reminding me to find calm. The fear is reminding me to focus on what is certain. And here's another thing about how your subconscious mind works. Doesn't know the difference between little and big. So what are the small things that you're certain of? I'm certain I'm going to brush my teeth. I'm certain I'm going to eat 3 meals a day. I'm certain that I'm going to go to bed at a decent time. I'm certain that the sun's going to come up, the sun's going to set. Focus on the things that you've been taking for granted that you are certain about, and that will help to dissolve that fear. Pushing against it will just make it stronger because you are on that fight, flight, freeze. That message has to get through. If you've got any questions, do feel free to pop them in because we're going to jump into some repatterning statements here right away. Okay, not seeing any. If you've got questions later, remember, you can always go to the Belief Repatterning Facebook page, type them in. One of our practitioners, one of our team members will give you an answer. If you're looking for some support in doing specific repatterning, I'm going to do a general repatterning with you right now so you get a sense of what it is about. If you're interested in exploring a specific one, jump on and request a 10-minute mindset boost. It'll help your immune system. It'll get you onto that upside of the line. And people say to me, how long will it last? Well, it's learning. And learning lasts when it works for you. And if you found something that could help you be more on the upside of the line, that's working for you. It's making your immune system stronger. It's supporting and helping you. So I'm going to ask you to each say these aloud as we go through. Okay, and after each one, we're going to breathe deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth, which allows your system to go, oh, I can relax. And I'm going to also ask you to be conscious about what's happening in your body as you do this. So think about one of those pairs, and I'm just going to go back to them right now. Choose one that either you've been feeling in the last few days, or maybe even when you got on this call, or maybe even right now. Choose one that fits for you. If none of those fit for you, think about a friend or a family member who's been in one of those spots and think about them as you do that. Because the cool thing is, we can do it for ourselves, we can do it vicariously, and it goes out to that collective subconscious. Isn't that neat? This is something that you can do to help yourself feel valued. I know that the more I keep myself on the upside of the line, the more that vibrates out to everyone else. And that's a way I can be of value. That meets my need for esteem. Okay. So choose a pairing. And you can say instead of chaotic, you want things to be easy. There's no, it has to be straight across. I just gave you some suggestions. So instead of feeling struggle, you might want to feel calm. Or instead of fear, you might want calm. So just pick one word from the downside and one word from the upside. Now, when we teach people how to do this, the next level is begin picking your own words. But in the beginning, just let's let it be easy. So I gave you five choices on the downside, five on the upside. So pick one of chaotic, lonely, stuck, struggle, or fear. Or you know what? You can even just call it ick. You're allowed to just call it ick. We don't even have to name it. Okay? On the upside, we do want to name it. So calm, collected, moving forward, ease, certainty. Some people might say, what about joy? What about happiness? Well, if you can get there, that's awesome. But it's kind of a big leap from the downside of the line for most people to do on their own. So I wanted this to be easy for you and something that you could follow from wherever you are to get you to a higher place. Okay, so now you've got your pairing chosen. Let's go to the statements. Wherever the down arrow is, you're going to put the down arrow word that you chose. Or remember, you can just say ick. And wherever you see the up arrow, you're going to put the up arrow. Keep the same two words throughout the whole statements because you want to really reinforce it. So the first one is the it's not me. Those of you who've studied with me and know the adult version, it's forgiveness. But this is what we do with the kids. So let's say it together. You can put your word in. I'm going to use ick. Ick doesn't feel good. It's not me. Okay, and then breathe it in. Are you noticing that immediately your body relaxes? The inner critic goes, oh, I've been heard. The conscious mind is paying attention to the message I've been sending. And I'm getting consciously told it's not me. Oh, so I don't have to hang on to it. That's what's happening in your body, mind, spirit. Okay. The next stage is instead, and in the adult version, we call this permission. But let's keep it simple. Instead, I'd rather feel, and I'm going to ask you to put the word that you chose, even if I don't know how. Instead, I'd rather feel, and put the up word, even if I don't know how. And again, breathe that in and let it go. Now, I like adding that even if I don't know how, because almost always when you're trying for a new repattern, that you're going to get a message back that says, I don't know how. Well, here's the thing. You're number one wired to stay alive, which is why your immune system needs to be your number one priority. And number two, you're wired to learn, mostly so you can stay alive. And so you're kicking in that learning piece. It's like, okay, this is going to help me because your body's starting to relax. So now what we're going to do is move to the choice statement. Hang on one second, and I think it's probably a good, that's my body reminding me to drink water. When I think my tea is perfect temperature. Okay, so I can feel in your right hand, put the ick feeling, put the down word. And in your left hand, I'm going to ask you to put the up word, the one that you want to increase, the one that's on the side of the inner coach. Okay, so in your left hand, I can feel ick. And then look at your, sorry, in your right hand, I'm sorry, I can feel ick. Or then look at your left hand. I can feel and put the up feeling word. And then I'm going to say, bang your hands together and shake your head and go, I can't do both at the same time. I choose. And then make the choice. You're going to notice that your left hand that had the positive word is going to go up. That means the conscious mind is giving the message to the subconscious mind. Subconscious mind is giving the message to all the cells and muscles and everything. And the do shows up. Excuse me for a second. In case you're concerned, this is just because I've been talking a lot over the last few days. I'm feeling very well. Okay? So these three statements, the it's not me, acknowledges where we're at and helps the system calm down. Instead, I'd rather feel. Now, when you're in the ick, it's kind of hard to find that up word, which is why when we train in the repatterning, we choose a word proactively every day. And one of the things that I do is I send one out on our Facebook page every day. Twitter, I think it's also on Twitter, Instagram. I'm trying to remember all the things that were invented recently, and I'm not up with them. But I've got my desk version here. Today's word for on the desk calendar is clarify. All right, so if you choose a word proactively and you write it down somewhere, or you find the one that you've got on the desk calendar, or you find one on the Facebook page, then you can put that in the upside whenever you're feeling this, because it'll help. Any word on this side will do. You don't have to find the right word, right? When you're hungry, anything will do. Crackers are fine, an apple is fine. You don't have to have the gourmet meal. If you want more of a gourmet meal, ask for that support. I suggest everybody that's listening to this, go have a 10-minute tune-up. Our practitioners, the belief repatterning practitioners, are online waiting for people to ask for help because they want to be of service. You asking for help allows somebody else to be of service, and it needs both ways. Okay, so now we're going to move. We've got to the line because choice is at that line between the critic and the coach. Okay, so it's not me. Instead, I'd rather feel. I'm the one that gets to choose which side I want to be on, and I'm choosing to be on the upside. And you notice I kind of moved from feeling to being. You're the one that gets to decide how you want to be and what is your essence that's going to be squeezed out of you. All right, and this is just letting your subconscious mind know that you are consciously choosing to be more calm, to be more connected, to be more at ease. Okay. All right. So this is the next stage. And when we learn something, we need to apply it. And this answers that one that we kind of said, even if I don't know how, what we're going to do is create your new normal by giving yourself a couple of ideas, 3 or 4, 2, doesn't matter, ideas of when you might feel that way. And so you're setting a clear intention. And so where that up arrow is, it's I will be calm, or whatever your word is today when I've also suggested that you do one for tonight and one for tomorrow. So let me give you a few examples. Let's say your word is calm. You want to make these be really specific. So not, I will be calm today when I do my day. That's too vague, and it's kind of like there's no real application. What you're doing is applying the new learning to something specific so that you learn it. I am free to be calm today when I look outside at the sunshine. I can do that. Okay, and you breathe it in. I am free to be calm tonight when I crawl into bed that I put my heating pad into to make it all nice and warm. I'm free to be calm tonight when I crawl into my warmed up bed. And you breathe it in. So you're setting clear intention with this feeling word about how you want to be. And let it be this simple. Okay, I will be calm when everything goes, like things that are totally in your control, let it be simple. I will be calm tomorrow. Now it's important to put a tomorrow one in, because here's the thing. If we're creating an intention for tomorrow, we're telling ourselves that everything is okay. We're feeding that need for security. okay? And I know that for a lot of people, most of us, we don't know what tomorrow's looking like. Things are changing, so that things that you can be sure of tomorrow. So I will be calm tomorrow when I get up and have a nice warm shower. Things that are simple that you totally have control over. This stage in the adult version is called freedom. I would say I'm free to be calm today. So what I'd like you to do is, for your word, come up with something specific that you can do that only relies on you. Doesn't cost a lot of time or take a lot of time or cost a lot of money. Super simple things that you were already doing that you can tie this feeling to strengthen it. Okay? You may want to put things on pause here and do that. And if you need some help with that, put it on to the Facebook page or Belief Repatterning website questions. We're standing by really wanting to answer your questions, and not just when we're live. If it's in the middle of the night, maybe we'll be sleeping and meeting our needs, but we will get back to you. Okay? So those are the freedom statements, or the I wills, where you're setting clear intention about that new normal. Okay? The next stage, you might remember, is I'll remember. Okay? Now, when we learn something new, then we need to apply it, which is what this stage is. Then we need to tie it to something that we already know, the new to the known. And that's what this next one is. So I remember being calm. It happened when I was on the beach, Dominican Republic, with Phil, and we just had that wonderful snorkel, and it was so lovely and warm, and the sand was, you want to be as descriptive as you can be on this side to really get those endorphins going. So I remember being, and put your own upward, it happened when. Okay, so you're going into your memory, and now this is another place that you can use, going back to those needs, the love and belonging. You can then connect with somebody that was part of that memory maybe and say, I was just thinking about that day when we were on the beach. Do you remember? And you can have a conversation, and then you're lifting both of you up. All right? Tips and techniques that are super easy to keep yourself on the upside of the line, keep that immune system strong. The next stage is, in the adult version, I call it surrender, where you surrender to the new way of being. You claim it as your own. With the kids version, we just call it I am. Okay? So instead of saying I am calm, because then the monkey might say, well, I'm not all that calm, I'm creating more. Okay? Because we're creating our new normal. I'm creating more calm, and that feels like me. You're claiming it and owning it. And then the final thing that ties it all together is that gratitude piece, that celebration piece, that congratulatory piece that feeds that need for esteem. Good job, me. Give yourself a pat on the back, give yourself a thumbs up, give yourself a wink. Good job, me, for being calm. That feels like me. All right, and so you're reinforcing that that feels like me. Those are the 7 steps. And at this stage, if this is your first exposure to it, you probably can't do this by yourself. You can follow this simple format, and it's not a script, it's a conversation, but this will help train your subconscious mind. And here's the cool thing: when you learn to repattern like this, your subconscious mind will do it for you while you're sleeping. So when you're receiving those energies around you that are around you, instead of pushing them away, you're transforming them and helping you be more of who you really are on the upside of the line. Big, deep breath in. Let's have another drink of water. Okay, if you've got questions or comments, totally happy to answer for those of you who are on live with me. If not, let's just go back again and just take a quick look. What we're doing, I'm just going to go way back here, is that we're moving our minds from the downside to the upside. We're transforming the energy. We're not pushing the ick away. We're transforming it and becoming more of who we really are by becoming the hero of our own story, which raises us up, boosting our immune system. That's what's going on inside of you with your thoughts. And you are in complete control of those thoughts. I know it can feel like they're out of control. That's why we're giving you step by step how you can move into feeling like you are creating what's good for you. All right. And in fact, it's not only feeling like it, you're actually doing it. You're actually moving from chaotic to calm, lonely to connected, stuck to moving forward, struggle to ease, fear to certainty. The cool thing is that you can have any emotion on either side of the line and pattern them together. This also fits with how we learn, which is we connect things. Okay, so Sesame Street did this. One of these things is not like the other. So the downside is not like me. It doesn't belong. What are the things that belong? What are the things that fit together? And when we pattern, say, for example, lonely to connected, when you feel lonely, your mind's going to go connected as an option. Just like if I say down, your mind says up. We learn in opposites. So this feeds into that very basic way that we learn. So we've got the steps. It's not me. Instead, I choose, I will, I remember, I am, good job, me. Super simple. You may want to write just those things down. Maybe even take a screenshot of the one that has the little keys on it, or write those words and put them on your fridge, put them on your mirror. That'll just help your mind learn them. All right. So we wanted to do a couple of things to help keep you on the upside. And so these are things that you can tie the repatterning to, but also there's some do from the B. Okay. So when you're in a more calm space or when you're in that more connected space, I suggest that as you move there, that these things are going to help keep you there. So I've got 3 lists that I'm going to suggest that you make. One of them is a list of what is your new normal, daily activities that you absolutely can do. Those of you with small children or who have ever been around small children know as soon as you can get a child on a routine of nap and awake times of when they eat, that everything calms down for them and everything comes down for you. Well, guess what? You're exactly the same. And so you need to have some kind of schedule, some kind of thing that you can rely on, because then your subconscious mind relaxes and realizes it doesn't have to be on super alert all the time. So create your new normal. And I'm not saying you have to say at 9:05, I'm going for a walk. You can do some of those things. So one of the things that Phil and I said is that we are having 3 meals a day, unless the two of us decide that we're going to have two, because sometimes on the weekend we do just have 2 meals. But we're going to ensure that we have 3 meals a day. We One of our new normals that we do, as I mentioned, was the extra sleep. Call list. Now, this is another list within the list that you can make. Make a list of the people that you know that you want to connect with. You can also make a list on that of people that you know that maybe you haven't connected with for a long time. Maybe they're on their own. And so, people that are on their own, I've sent a text to and said, let's be in touch back and forth. How are you being? I'm not contacting them saying, oh, how are you doing? I'm so worried about you. No, I contact them on this side. I can be of service by going, I was just thinking about that time when we went for the walk in the forest. That was so lovely. Thank you for taking me there. Okay. Meets the needs, helps us keep on the upside. Bonus time is what time you've got now that you didn't have before, because something that was absolutely part of your routine, driving to and from work or driving to and from the kids to school, is a perfect example of that. For us, it would be the grocery shopping time. What are we going to do with that bonus time? See it as bonus time. And what would you love to do with it? These are just a couple of ideas. Oh, one I want to just underline: times for checking news reports, limit that. You do need to be informed. You don't need to go into fear. So I'm suggesting that maybe instead of news reports, you may want to check trusted sources like your government. Our government in Alberta has a great resource on the Government of Alberta page. Government of Canada, same thing, that they're updating and letting people know. It's different in each jurisdiction. So check with your local authorities and find out what it is. We are in a state of emergency in Airdrie. It was just outside of Calgary. It was declared not too long ago. Can't remember what date. It doesn't really matter. But each jurisdiction is different. I know my mother-in-law in Australia, they just, in her elder care facility, They just said no visitors, and that was like yesterday, and she was all in panic about this. Well, where my aunt lives in Ontario, that happened, I'm going to say 3, 4 weeks ago. So new normal is changing around the world as things progress. Doesn't mean that they're bad and we're good. It's just as things have progressed, people are learning new normal. So you get to create what's normal for you within what you can, rather than focusing on all the things that have been taken away from. Okay? That leads me to my next list. Focus on what you can do instead of what you can't. And these are some questions that you can ask yourself. How might you be of service to others? What can you do? Each and every one of us can reach out to somebody that we care about and have a positive, uplifting message or a joke. One of the things that Phil is doing with the grandkids, because we were feeling disconnected from them, and so he is sending them a joke every day. And what he's done is gone online and looked up cat jokes and dog jokes, and he puts their cat and dog's name into it. The kids are loving it. These kids are 7, 9, and 11. I just have to remember whose birthday's been had. Okay. So you can do this, and I just said to him, I want to know what the joke is every day because I get a laugh from it. There's all kinds of things you can do. One day, this past week, when I went upstairs and had my meal, Phil's been doing meals for me so that I can be of service this way to people. I went upstairs and there was a little love note on my dish, just on the edge of my dish, just a little love note that said, "Your smile lights up my life." Wow, all of us can do things like this. This is how you can be of service. It doesn't have to be, I'm going to go donate blood. Like, yes, there's those kinds of services, but there's easy ones that we can each do to help everyone rise up. Another thing is, what have you been wishing that you had time for? Put this into your bonus time. I've been wishing that I had time to get out for walks. That's what I've been doing. I've been wishing that I had time to read a book. That's what I'm starting today. Okay. What new projects might you start? We had an intention to put Flip Your Switch back on virtual, not just online. Flip Your Switch is the name of our weekend where we teach people this. Our intention was to put it online virtually so people could do it at their own pace and in their own timing. I had planned that to launch in July. And last Saturday, a week ago, last Saturday, I said to Phil and Stephanie being our inspiration coordinator that helps us put the plans together, and I just said, we need to make it soon. People need this now. And so that's why I decided to do the new normal so that people would have a tidbit. But if you'd like to join us, you are most welcome to. On next weekend, the end of March, we are doing Flip Your Switch live, which means it'll be interactive, and we'll be recording it, which means we're going to be able to launch the virtual much sooner than we had intended to. Like I'm thinking probably early April, we'll have it available for you for home study. Now, there is a charge to that, and we're making it affordable for everyone and really bringing the prices to a place that people can manage. And if you're a grad of our program, your grad rate's in half. If you are part of our program, it's complimentary. You will have anybody that is coming with us on the online will have the opportunity to come to a live one complimentary when it is prudent for us to start having live events again. Notice I didn't say when we go back to normal. We're not going back. We're going forward, folks. So what new projects might you start? What learning would you like to have? Maybe you thought, I've always liked to learn Spanish. Well, you can do that online. I've always liked to learn knitting. You can do that on, there's nothing that you would like to learn that you can't find online. So what new learning? And you can use your bonus time for it. Okay. So second list, focus on what you can do. So many people have been focusing on what they can't do, and that's like driving down the freeway full, foot on the gas, staring in the rearview mirror. You're going to bump into things. Focus on what you can do. You have control, and then that calms your body, again, raising your immune system. Okay. Keep track of what you're missing. And when I say keep track of what you're missing, people that have studied with me are like, Suze, how does that fit with flipping the switch to positive thoughts and the things that you talk about in your book? Well, I'll tell you how it fits with it. If you're missing it, it's important and you are taking it for granted. And keep a list of those things so that you make decisions for when the restrictions are lifted. There's a couple of things that this does. Number one, it reminds you of what's important to you. Number two, it creates that security about when restrictions are lifted, because they will be. We will be able to do things future. It lets your body go, oh, it's secure. I'm making a plan for the future. I'm going to give you a simple um, example of this. I was speaking with my aunt, and her great granddaughter had phoned. So I started the conversation to my aunt with, hi, it's so good to hear your voice. I'm interested in hearing what has been happening that's been fun for you lately. She kind of stopped because that's not the way most people are doing that. This is something super simple all of us can do to be of service to others. So then she said, well, that's nice that you asked. I just got a call from my great granddaughter completely out of the blue. And I said, well, how is she doing? And she said, well, she's fine. But she said, I'm really missing you, Gigi. That's what she calls her great grandma. I'm really missing you, Gigi. And Gigi said, my aunt said back to her, I'm missing you too. Now, her great granddaughter lives about 5 miles away from her. She has a car, she's at university, but she's been so busy that she's only seen her great grandmother at family functions, so only at Christmas and maybe Thanksgiving, those kinds of things. And she said, I'm missing the lunches that we used to have. And as soon as I can, I'm going to come and I'm going to take you out for lunch. Well, that gives everybody something to look forward to. So that's what I mean. Keep track of the things that you're missing. Another quick example, I'm missing swimming. I haven't been to the pool very often for the last year and a half. I've gone a couple of times and tried, and then I was more able, but then I got so busy. Well, guess what? In my calendar for when restrictions are lifted, the pool is right up there, and it's going to go back to something I do first for myself instead of waiting until there's time. Do what you can from where you are now and project things into the future that are hopeful, that are positive. It's going to keep you on the upside. It's going to keep that immune system strong. Now, this is not maybe a list, but extreme self-care. Whatever level of self-care you were doing, increase it. Make it stronger. The reason that you're doing this is because then you are boosting your immune system. Wherever you were, it has to be stronger. Stress levels have raised up. So you can give yourself a wink. Tie this into when you're brushing your teeth. Give yourself a wink. Good job, me. You liked hearing that as a kid. You'll like hearing it now. Congratulate yourself. Give yourself pats on the back. Tie fun things, so instead of the, oh God, I have to wash my hands for 20 seconds under hot soapy water so I don't get the bug. No, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's what we did with little kids. Make it be fun, make it be playful. Increase your water, your sleep, your vitamins, your laughter, your positive conversations. That's going to support you. Okay, we're just coming here to a bit of a closure, and if you've got questions, please put them in. I'm happy to answer them. Keep in mind, healthy immune system has got to be each and every one of ours number one priority. This is not being selfish. This is being mindful that we're part of a big system called humanity. And each one of us is like one cell in our bodies. We're a part of it, and if one cell is sick, another one gets sick, and another one. Be healthy with your immune system as your number one priority. The easiest way you can do this is to keep your thoughts positive. If I can be supportive, let me know. Okay. Subtitle of the book, Amazing Technique for Flipping the Switch to Positive Thoughts. There's lots and lots of complimentary things online available for you. Go take a check on the Belief Repatterning website. Go to Spotify. There's like 3 years worth of radio shows. You're welcome to get our newsletter. Just sign up for it. Every week I'm sending out something. Hop onto these. Like the Facebook page for Belief Repatterning. Like Suze Casey page, because on there I'm doing some really quick and fun mindset shifts every day. Your healthy immune system, number one priority. Know you can and will repatterning anything that you choose. You can change your mindset about anything. You're wired to learn, you're wired to live. We're here to support you, whatever's going on for you. Remember, I developed this technique 30 years ago to create wellness for me out of autoimmune challenges that I was having. If you would appreciate support with a mini mindset boost and mini repatterning, go in and request it on the Belief Repatterning website or our Facebook page. Either one of our team will contact you. I want to reinforce this is complimentary. This is how we're providing service from one of our superpowers. Okay, that superpower of knowing how to shift our mind, and we're here to share it. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care of you first, and then you can be the best for others. I'm Suze Casey, developer of the Belief Repatterning Technique, fellow human being. We're all in this together. Take good care of you. Number one, immune system. Number one way that you can take care of that immune system, stay on the upside. Take good care. I can be of further service. Do let us know. Bye for now.